On today's episode of Automated Thought, I want to discuss the crucial issue of racism that continues to confound our... You know what? Fuck it. I want to talk about Star Wars some more. After The Last Jedi came out, someone came to me online and they said, "Look, this trilogy is completely ruined now. They've painted themselves into a corner. Having the whole resistance be destroyed at the end of this movie? There's no way that they can realistically rebuild the resistance and counter the First Order threat all in the space of one final movie. There's not enough time for them to do that. They ruined it. They messed it up." And of course, I would disagree with that. There are several ways that the resistance could come back and win in the final movie. It might involve a time jump in the narrative, or some sort of spontaneous galactic uprising, or an army of clones. Who knows, right? But I do sympathize with this view, because at the end of The Last Jedi, we are in kind of a fuzzy place. Things are uncertain, and we're not really sure what's supposed to happen next. At the end of The Empire Strikes Back, the audience kinda knew what to expect from the third movie. The rebels were going to have to defeat the Empire, they were going to have to save Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt, and Luke Skywalker was going to have some kind of closure with Darth Vader. And at the end of Attack of the Clones, we pretty much knew that Anakin and Padme's quickie marriage was not going to last, that he was going to end up as Darth Vader and everything was going to go bad. It was kinda spoiled for us, honestly. But things are more nebulous at the end of The Last Jedi. What exactly is the narrative working towards? What is supposed to happen? And you know, I think maybe the answer was staring us in the face the whole time. When The Force Awakens came out, a lot of people pointed out that the name Rey is the Spanish word for king. So what if this trilogy ends with Rey becoming the new supreme leader of the First Order? And by that, I don't mean she's going to turn to the dark side and forcefully take this title from Kylo Ren. I think through a series of heartbreaking and staggeringly cool events, she'll defeat Kylo Ren, prove him wrong about everything, and he will abdicate and hand the title over to her. I mean, is this really too far-fetched? We've already seen the title of Supreme Leader pass from Snoke to Kylo Ren with a minimum of fuss. The one thing you can say for certain about the First Order is that they're kind of a cult, and their entire system is designed to follow whoever's in charge with absolute loyalty, regardless of who it is. It's not like they all just love Snoke for some reason. In the original trilogy, Darth Vader seemed pretty confident that if he had Luke Skywalker on his side, they could overthrow the Emperor and just slot themselves into his place, and that wouldn't be too controversial. The only hard part would be, beating the Emperor. I think that's what's going to happen at the end of Episode 9. Supreme Leader Ren will be defeated, and he will be replaced by Supreme Leader Rey. They'll essentially have switched places. Ben Solo, the child of privilege who was kind of given everything in life, he'll be reduced to being a ragged wanderer, roaming the desert and barely surviving. Whereas Rey, the girl who was born with nothing, she will be in charge of practically the entire galaxy. Rags to riches, riches to rags. But the two will still have that quasi-romantic connection. Kylo will forever trace his fingers over the scar that she gave him and wonder what could have been. Oh, so dark and romantic. But would this be too happy of an ending? Would this be like some wish fulfillment? Not really. The thing about Rey becoming the supreme leader is that she doesn't actually want that. Rey would rather live a simple, peaceful life with her friends, but she'll have this responsibility thrust upon her by fate. This is kind of an enduring trope that happens in fantasy. Whether it's King Arthur or Jon Snow or Aragorn, the only person who deserves to sit on the throne is the person who doesn't really want it. It's just that we've never really seen that with a girl before, so it'll feel kind of fresh. And oh man, can you imagine the butthurt of the man-baby cuck boys when this happens? Oh, that'll be beautiful. If they think feminism has ruined Star Wars, they ain't seen nothing yet. But hey, they should be happy. A lot of them had the complaint that these movies aren't good because Rey is not significant enough. Yeah, I don't hate Rey because she's a girl. I hate how she's not significant. She should have been a Skywalker or a Kenobi or the reincarnation of Anakin, so then she'd be significant. Well, hey, there's your significance right there. Maybe this whole trilogy is about how someone from nowhere, who came from nothing, was raised up by fate and given the throne of all thrones. And of course, it's not like it's a case of, oh, Rey did this all herself because she's so awesome. Like with all myths of this sort, the hand of God was at play. The Force did it. Snoke said it himself. Darkness rises, light rises to meet it. He thought it would be Skywalker, but instead it's Rey. The Force, in all its mystery, chose this random person from an unknown corner of the galaxy because she was like a pebble rolling downhill that could start the avalanche and all of that. And it's not just all about Rey. This whole time we've also been seeing how Poe and Finn have overcome their past selves and are learning to be true leaders. Maybe it'll end with some sort of shot that kind of echoes the ending of the original Star Wars. Rey, Poe, and Finn, assuming command and vowing to create a better galaxy from the ashes of the chaos of the First Order. A young woman, a hotshot rogue pilot, and a super nice normal guy all grow up to become the most important people in the galaxy. Maybe that's what this story is about. And in the end, the First Order won't have to be defeated. It'll have to be reformed from within. I'm sure Rey will rename it like the New Order or something. Most of the officers directly underneath her will be these fanatical Captain Phasma type motherfuckers who will enforce her authority at all costs. That's what the First Order does. It follows orders. Most of the people in the First Order are probably like Finn. They're not evil to the core. They're just brainwashed soldiers. If the First Order is controlled by somebody like Rey, she'll just say, "All right, new orders, stop killing everybody, start, feeding people and enforcing local laws and regulations." They'll go along with it. After being led by Snoke and Kylo Ren, they would probably welcome a leader with a slightly gentler touch. Reform the system from within, instead of destroying it with lasers and ships and bombs and stuff. How is that not a good ending? Plus, having Rey turn the First Order into the New Order, that would give us kind of a neutral springboard into whatever the next two trilogies are. There would be a new sort of status quo that other filmmakers could work from, because Star Wars cannot always be about the evil Empire fighting the scrappy rebels. You can only do that so many times before it gets old. Plus, I assume Daisy Ridley's going to want to keep playing this character. Maybe she could return in a future trilogy as a mentor figure, the Queen of the Galaxy who interacts with the new heroes, but is too busy with her responsibilities to take the spotlight anymore. And then, of course, even later, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, an old silver-haired Jedi Master Rey could make her valiant last stand, dying heroically and tragically, as mentor figures in Star Wars tend to do. I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to that. And if you're one of those fanboys who's going to scream, "No, this isn't what Star Wars is about! This isn't Star Wars!" You know, I would argue otherwise. This is kind of a vibe that's been baked into Star Wars from the very beginning.
Angry, power-hungry men don't make good leaders. A woman could probably do the job better. Angry, power-hungry men don't make good leaders. Maybe a woman could do the job better. Angry, power-hungry men don't make good leaders. Maybe a woman could do the job better. Angry, power-hungry men don't make good leaders. Maybe a woman could do the job better. Angry, power-hungry men don't make good leaders. Maybe a woman could probably do the job better.
I've said it before, but I'm gonna have to keep saying it. Star Wars was always feminist. You just didn't notice it and didn't care until you became some sort of alt-right person, listening to people like Sargon of Akkad and Jordan Peterson telling you that women doing anything was some sort of personal attack on you. It's not. It really isn't. It's just something that liberals like. And this is why I think Rey becoming the Supreme Leader would be such a fitting ending to this trilogy. It would reflect the political climate of the day. Star Wars was always political. Star Wars was always liberal. And each trilogy reflects the current times. The original trilogy was about opposing the Vietnam War with love and hippie values and rebelliousness. The prequel trilogy was about how overseas wars can lead to the downfall of a republic, whether it's in ancient Rome or in Bush's America. As a liberal today, the feeling is we're not going to defeat Donald Trump and the Koch brothers by running around and bombing their hotels and factories. Yeah, sure, some people may want to dress up like Antifa and break some windows or something, but that's not how we're going to get universal health care. Our enemies are these old rich assholes and their young neo-Nazi fanboys. And the only way to really win is to replace them within the existing power structure. And maybe the next president to do that might actually be a woman.
Woman president, black voters, Latino voters, woke white guys. This is the new coalition. This is our liberal shit, and we love it.
Anyway, that's my Star Wars theory for today. The Supreme Leader Rey theory. I think at the end of Episode 9, Rey is going to be the Supreme Leader. The Supreme Leader of the New Order. Granted, my Star Wars theories are almost always wrong, but if I keep making them, eventually I've got to be right at some point, just statistically. Anywho, have yourself a great night. Automated Thought, out!
They'll have to send a far better man than Black Dog, the fools!
Hey, I felt a raindrop. You know, I almost believe you did that on purpose. Come on, Billy, cut it out. Billy, where are you?
Go away and leave me alone, Black Dog.